Okay, year 8, as promised, here's a quick video to go over the outline or the overview of the Second World War, so you know where all these things that we've learnt about, you know where they kind of fit. You've been asked to discuss the idea that the Second World War was mainly a European war. So you have one argument that says it was mainly European and another argument that says it wasn't mainly European, and then you kind of give a balanced view at the end. That's what we're shooting for. In the first quick video, I'm going to give you a very brief overview over what we consider to be the European War and the order it happened in. Have a look online for for timelines, and that will give you the dates of each event very specifically. So the European War we talk about starts in 1939, or the war we're talking about does anyway. So it starts with the Germans invading Poland and using blitzkrieg. You've got loads of work on blitzkrieg. It would be great if you could tell me how that kind of worked. After they used blitzkrieg to take over Poland and lots of the other countries that surrounded it, they turned their attention to France. And again, they used blitzkrieg, they used this military strategy that was new to the Second World War, and they conquered France. Now, in France at the time, helping them out was the BEF, which is the British Army. The reason why we have Dunkirk, which is when the British ran away from France, was that they were fighting in the middle of France and they were pushed up, up, up until the entire British army and some of the French army ended up on the beaches in northern France called Dunkirk, which is when we all got in those little boats and we ran away back to Britain. At that point, the war inside Europe sort of stays still for a little while. Well, Germany is trying to figure out how they're gonna deal with the British problem, and that's how we have the Battle of Britain, where they try and lay the foundations for an invasion by getting rid of the RAF. And when that changes, it changes into the Blitz, where they try and get the British to give up, and the British do the same with the area bombing. The war in Europe only really kicks off again, as far as Germany is concerned, with Operation Barbarossa, when they push their way through into Russia, trying to take all of this land. We know how that ends, that it gets too cold, they don't have the equipment, the Russians are better equipped, Stalin and all that sort of stuff, and they get near Moscow and start getting pushed back. As soon as they start getting pushed back, as the Germans get pushed back out of Russia, that's when Britain, America and Canada, they organise an invasion of France, which is owned by Germany, in which they land on the beaches on D-Day in Normandy, and then they start pushing towards Germany, and that's why you have what we call the race to Berlin. Is the Germans are being beaten by the Russians here towards Germany, they're being beaten by the Americans, the Brits and the Canadians this way, until eventually they meet in Germany, they meet in Berlin, the Battle of Berlin. That's when Hitler kills himself and the war in Europe effectively ends.